hell? All right, folks, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. Let me see if I got volume. I'm back in my home studio. Things are better. Yeah, thanks for putting up with me last week. Last week was a weird week. Being in Florida, different computer than I'm used to using, really underpowered. It made everything super slow. Like, it was not great or technically last week for me, but got through it. We had a couple of good shows. I thought we did the best we could with the computer that we had, obviously, and getting some wind craps in there for you. And I thought the content was pretty good. I actually enjoy doing the wind craps geeky stuff. Is fun once in a while. I don't think it makes sense all the time. I know that there's a faction of our group here that loves wind craps and wishes I would do more of it. And then there's more of you that don't, right? So I as much as I think it's a great tool and it's good for us to learn from, I don't know that it's the thing we want to go forward with all the time. So I'll sprinkle it in here and there. It makes sense one day a week maybe to do some of that stuff. And we could do some more, how to code in wind craps, which is, I think, an important thing. But really, I think it's good to like recap some of the things we do during the week. Like this week, for example, I'm going to do 3 or 4 different ways of playing that are very simple ways of playing that we could run through wind craps and just give them a look and see how they would have done on the monster rolls we saw, how they would have done on my paycheck rolls and that kind of thing. So for what it's worth, I think wind craps is a thing that we have. What else is happening here? We have so much going on today. It's going to be kind of a packed show here. So let me just jump right in, and I want to show you something really cool. Now, yesterday, Big A's actually last night during the craps chat last night, Big AZ actually called me. I remember if you guys saw the second part of that show, I took a phone call. It was Big AZ called me. And he's like, dude, I got to tell you something. He's so stoked, right? He's like, and he doesn't get excited, right? He's like, I got to show you something. He sends me the 2 shorts. Now, he's already posted these shorts up. I think Alfredo posted one too. But if you haven't seen the short yet, you've got to see this. This is super cool stuff. Let me change my screen here really quick. And I'm going to show you a couple of videos that Big AZ sent to me last night. Hang on one second. Let me just kind of drag this one, not that one, this one over. This is, I'll give you the backstory here. So the Big AZ group is in Vegas for a meetup right now. And as part of that, they're filming at the tables. And this was he said, I convinced everybody to throw $5 in on a horn high yo for Chiro to the dealer. So they all bet $5. Everybody at the table bets $5 for the dealers on a horn high yo. Okay. So here's the video of that. Let me try and play that.
Come on. Yeah!
All right, so first things first, he makes the bet for the dealers on the horn high yo, right? And the dealers, of course, what dealers do, they let's leave it out there, right? They leave it out there. And the best thing about it is that Chiro said, what should how do I set the dice? You know how he always asks you how to set the dice? So he sets the dice with Chiro's 6565 set, right? Or 6556 set. He sets them up Chiro style. They roll the yo. Dealers make all the money. They leave their money out there, and here's roll number 2. I wonder if you can guess what's going to happen on roll number 2. Let's get the volume going.
What? Yeah, 297.
Coming out.
Of course they'll pay it again. It's the one.
It stays up. It stays up. Yeah.
I'm trying to get an apartment.
Yeah.
Let's go, Lauren.
Love it. Do it again.
Oh my God! Grab Ciro's chip, Jay-Z, and enjoy it. Hey, show the chip to the camera. Let's yo, baby, let's yo. Holy shit.
I love that. Oh my God. How awesome was that? Right? Isn't that amazing? Like, seriously, like, that's Chiro. And of course, when I was at the casino with Chiro's actual $100 chip and I put it all in the 11, the guy PSO'd. Maybe I should have thrown the dice. I don't know. That's freaking cool. That's awesome, awesome stuff. And thanks Lauren for sharing that with us. And that's super cool, man. That is super cool. I think that almost like is a perfect way to end the mid-mo-yo kind of stuff, right? Like, isn't that great? He just shows up at the right time, and that's I don't know. That's just pretty awesome. Anyway, there it is. There's the mid-mo-yo moment of the week here. So maybe more of those coming. I don't know. So what's going to happen today on the show? I want to talk a little bit here about Craps Chat last night. We have to get back to Daily Paycheck. I got a Daily Paycheck coming back today. We're still in the Molly, by the way. We did 15 Molly shows. We have to do 20. So I got 5 shows left. I took a whole week off last week. So we're bumping into October for the September strategy, but it is what it is. We'll do 5 days of Molly this week. I'm going to review where we were, where we're headed with it, and what we're going to do. And quick update with Craps for the Cure. And then I'm going to dive into some basic craps play. I think we need to unwind things. So with all that said, let's get back to Craps Chat. So last night's Craps Chat was good and bad, right? There was good points to it and bad points to it. Something happened with the feed. I don't know what happened. Jeff was really frustrated. And here, hey, Jeff, how you doing? I'm going to put your happy comment. Nice. Jeff I don't know what happened with the feed last night. Jeff was going to do some research and figure it out, but something happened and we lost it in the first show. His system said it was working. It wasn't actually working. And so we had to kind of rekindle the magic, right? You're like in the middle of talking about stuff. And then all of a sudden you got to flip back over again. And now you're talking, you got to like, where were we 20 minutes later? So the conversation took kind of a weird turn and dive there and we got back to it. Overall, I love that show. And I think we'd all agree that's one of the best shows. Hey, Patty, good morning, man. Are you in the States or are you over there in sunny old Ireland, man? Oh, you were there. You were there at the thing. That's awesome. That's good. Really cool. Anyway, so part of the conversation last night, we got in the beginning, of course, we're telling all the stories about Chiro, which kind of, it's Craps Chat, not Chiro Chat. And I guess some people were like in the chat, not super happy about that, but it is what it is, right? It's a community show. And that was the point of it. Some of the questions we got were good and they led to some great conversations. And a couple things came up, I think that to me, like, we've had this talk before where when it gets contentious on Craps Chat, it's both awesome and awful at the same time. Like, I think when you have a topic that, for whatever reason, puts a couple of people, not necessarily so much at odds, but where you can get a little ramped up on it, I think it makes for good content. It's a good show. It's exciting. It's good to see not everybody, doing the kumbaya thing. Once in a while, we have to disagree. That's great. And we did a little bit of that last night. So I think we got into some good questions from the group, or from the audience that got us into some of this stuff, which was great. And one of the things that came up that I think we should talk about, it's kind of like fortuitous that I decided to do this super basic play this week, is this notion of, what is a strategy? I forget who asked that question. Somebody asked, what is a strategy versus what is a system? I think it might have been Leon asked that question. And then we got into this conversation about, well, if you're just going to play 110 inside you're going to bring 10 shooters for 110, you're going to play it every single time, you're going to get beat 9 out of 10 times, then you go back for the 10th time, you're a dumbass, you're an idiot, or whatever was said. And I think that, okay, let's temper the words a little bit there. And let's talk about that. Because you know me, I'm not a believer in reading a table. I don't believe that unless it's the same shooter every single time, like me, you can read my table when I'm in the garage because it's always me shooting and I can get into a trend. I can cause a trend. I can create pockets. You can bet on that, whatever that is, good or bad. If it's every random person at the table, and I'm not saying random person like random shooter, I'm saying every Tom, Dick, Harry, Fred, Mary, Sue, Jane at the table, if one person PSOs and the second person PSOs and the third person PSOs, the fourth person is just as likely to go off on a 50 as they are on a 2, right? What they did doesn't matter about what this person's going to do because this person is a different person. They're in a different spot of the table. They're going to hit their dice at a different spot on the other side. They probably have 2 different dice because they're picking out of the thing, right? Nothing is the same from person 1 to person 4. If your way of playing is, I'm going to go out there 154, take 2 hits, and then come down to 110, which is what I know Clay does, right? If you're going to do that, and that lets you play at 110 for basically a $10 investment, that's your way. Your strategy is to survive a couple hits and then play for kind of risk-free. If 3 people sucked, if 8 people sucked, the 9th person isn't going to suck necessarily. You can't predict that from that. Doesn't make him a dumbass for playing it. I think it makes him maybe not playing the greatest strategy. Like maybe that strategy isn't a great strategy. I don't know if it is or not, but if that's your way to do it, there's nothing that happened on the 4 guys before you that should say you shouldn't play that way, right? Switching it up based on what you saw might be dumber than sticking with what the girl that brought you, right? You got to think about it that way. Mathematically, doesn't matter what happened before you. Not one thing, position, time, temperature, dice, landing zone, velocity, nothing is the same between person 1 and person. Nothing is the same between those people. So you can't divine anything from what just happened. So I think calling somebody stupid or thinking to yourself, I'm a dumbass for sticking to the same strategy every single time, you can't do that to yourself or to somebody else because everybody has the same chance. That strategy, if it's good, right, if it makes solid sense, is good on every potential shooter. And I think you either go through playing that way or you're going to go completely feel-based and try and suss it out. And if you want to do that, God be with you. Go for it, right? If that's your, and again, that's a strategy too, right? And I think if you define the word strategy, I should probably give you the actual definition, but strategy to me is being strategic. It's putting your bets on the table in the amounts you think are appropriate on the numbers you think you're going to hit. That's a strategy, right? Whether it's a 1 roll, a 2 roll, a 3 roll, a 5 roll way to play, that's what strategy is. And I'm looking at Blacklight, and yeah, cold tables, sure they exist, but you can't divine that from 3 people that are completely unconnected to each other, right? 3 unconnected people with 6 different dice from 3 different spots have nothing to do with each other. Yeah, the table can be running cold, but you can't predict that. And that's what I'm saying. But if your strategy is to feel a cold table and bet differently, strategically place your money in different spots and win that way, that's cool. That's your strategy. If my strategy is to put whatever Clay, 154 out there every single time and hope that the next person gets 2 that I can play, that's my way of playing. It doesn't make either one of us dumb, right? It's just you're putting your money where you think it's going to do the best good for you. That's a strategy, right? And I think you got to look at it like that. You've got to be honest with yourselves and say, John and Lauren and Jeff and Jen and whoever else just threw the dice. It does not mean that the next person is going to throw a 7 because they all did. Right away, a quick 7. You cannot say that. So your strategy has to be based on what you're feeling, based on what your go-to-market strategy is. My strategy is 2 hits and down. My strategy is play the don't. My strategy is run the molly. My strategy is the dolly. My strategy is I saw 5 7s in the last 7 rolls. I'm hopping the reds. Whatever your strategy is, that's cool. That's it. I just want to get that out there. I think it's important to say that. You can put your money where you think it's going to do you the best good. My job here, as the professor they call me, I guess, is to inform you that none of it matters, right? Where you think the dice are going to land the next time does not matter. They're going to land wherever the fuck they want to land. And unless you're actually a controller where you can get some groove and some prediction into those dice and create a trend, none of it really matters. And there are very few people that can do it well. We know some of them. I played with some of them. I've been one of them, right? I have been in grooves where you can tell what's coming, right? In those circumstances, yeah. Can you create a trend? Sure. Can you bet on it? Yeah. But most of the time, you got to just realize the math is not, the math doesn't support it. Life doesn't support it. Randomness doesn't support it. And then I want you to be aware of that. Playing 110 or 66 or 154 or 160 across every single shooter is not bad or wrong. You're just putting your money where you think it's going to do you the best good. And that's got to be okay. Now, if you do that for years and get your ass handed to you, maybe you should think about a different way of playing. If that strategy never works, then maybe the strategy itself is poor. That might be something you can talk about. That's where I think Windcraps comes in. We talked about Windcraps last night too. The tool that is designed to say against purely random stuff. And Windcraps will get into cold and very hot streaks, as you can see. How does your strategy survive or thrive in those environments? That's where it's good for. So it does help you out there. All right. Beyond that, Craps Chat, I think Jeff and I and Don are going to do some talking about this thing, but I think there's a lot of good energy. I think there's a lot of good. I think the debates are great. I think we should think about maybe having some prefab questions, maybe some topical things that like tonight's show is going to be about, and have all that kind of stuff. So I think that's an important piece of that show too. It was Leon who brought what is a system, and I put this out here. I put out this idea that the difference between a strategy and a system, and Leon I think clarified it pretty well himself too. He said, a system is like advanced scratch where you're stringing strategies together. I would say that a system is a longer form. Like a strategy is, how do I say this right? Let's say you're going to do an inside press, whether it's 154 up and down or it's a 66 up, whatever that is. That's your two-roll strategy is this, whatever that's going to be. A system is doing that over and over and over and over again. The Molly is a good example of a Molly is a system. You just play it forever. You put it out there, you turn the switch on, and you just roll the same bets out there a billion times in a row. That's a system, not a strategy. You're just going to play it out, and eventually the system will work or fail. Strategy, to me, is more strategic, like battle. Like you're going to put here and here and here, and then you're going to put here and here, and then you're going to raise and you're going to lower, and that's a strategy. You're kind of moving shit around, and you're stringing things together, ideas and concepts together. That's a strategy. It may be a short one, it may be a longer one. That's, I think, the difference. Systems play versus strategy play. Waylon, I don't think builds strategies. He calls them strategies, but he builds systems, right? Waylon's systems, right? Lay the 4, bet the 6 and 8, same bet, same bet, same bet, take the 7. Lay the 4, place the 6 and 8, same bet, same bet, same bet, get the 7. Lay the 4, it loses, go to the 10, 6 and 8, same bet, same bet, same bet. That's a system. You're just following the rules over and over again, right? He calls them strategies, but they're really systems because you never stop playing them. It's like a car. Like you just put gas in the engine, in our case, money on the table. Let that son of a gun purr along and make you money. That's a system. I think if I was going to answer Leon's question last night, that would be how I'd answer it. I think that's more of a system. Strategically, he designs the system to put the money where he thinks the best chances of you winning it are. The strategy is the 4 has 6 ways or 3 ways to win, and the 6 and 8 have got whatever ways to win, 10 ways to win between them. That's the strategy part of it. The system is just keep on rolling it out. The system is ladder when you lose, reduce when you win. That's the systems piece. And I think you kind of marry those up and it works. And I think not that the definitions here matter as much as they do to me with the word trend, but it's an important distinction to make. And I think it was a great question. It led to some really good conversation last night. And I frankly like that kind of conversation. I think that's pretty cool. I just got a thumbs down from probably Blacklight, I'm sure. My definitions are my own. They are not my own, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, dude. The word, I mean, when I define things like trend, it's from the dictionary. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The definition of a trend is what it is. And that's, I can't help you if you don't want to believe the truth, dude. I love you I love you, my brother. But if you don't want to believe what the reality is, then I can't make it any more real for you. That's what a trend is, something that's created, right? And randomness does not create trends. That's just the way it is. Random is random. Trending is got force behind it. I believe that there are people who have force that can make things happen. So that's it. I know. I'm just giving you. Somebody thumbs me down. It's funny because it's funny on my screen when somebody thumbs down, I can see that the thumb actually kind of flies down like a little butterfly. It's obvious that somebody just went like that to me. Anyway, let's jump in. Craps for the Cure is coming, and Blacklight, you're here. Ken's here. Jeff's here. Mike from On Point Crafts is here. Skill and Luck is here. Who else is here? Patty's here. Maybe you can't come. Dice Dr. Dan lives in Vegas. Who else with us? Mark the Point. Ryan is here. Red Eye is here. I want to know who's coming. Say in chat, I'm coming. I am coming here with you. I'm not there. I'm going to go to Craps for the Cure. I'll come back to that. Are you coming to Craps for the Cure? November 11th and 12th. I want to know who's going to be there. I got all these great plans, by the way. I'm going to pull up my notes here. Let's see. I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit here. I want to kind of read to you some of the notes that I've taken for this thing and I want you to know who I'm reaching out to come. Okay, I'm reaching out to Jacob. We talked to Jacob last week. His son's playing football, maybe in the championship that week, so he may not be able to make it to us, but we're trying to get Jacob out there. DGE, Charlie. I want to get Charlie there. I want to get with Bo Parker, who lives in Vegas. I want to get Heavy, if we can get him. Gargoyle and Cage, I'm going to reach out to those two specifically and see if I can get them to fly out there and be with us and make fun of my chopper toss in person live and embarrass me in front of all you guys in person, right? I want to get Howard Rock and Roller with us. I'd love to get Heather, who's a dealer. Heather is the one who always interviews Michael Shackelford, right? She's great. And Shackelford, of course, already has agreed to be there with us. Jack Ace, I'd love to get him. Him and Alex together would be fantastic, right? Dealing with David if we can do it. We're going to do a Craps Chat live. Holy Roller, who won the hard hat, by the way. I had to talk to him today. Get him talking to us about cruising and comps and really more of a how-to session. I want to get him with some whiteboarding and tell us how to do it. Myself and one of my colleagues from Premier Casino Hosting will be there to talk about getting comps at the Craps table as well as other games. I have somebody coming to us from Caesars and somebody from Station that will spend some time with us to talk about the casino side of things. What's it like to be a box? What are the box people looking for? How do they actually grade us? That kind of stuff. We might have an Ellis Island rep as well I'm talking to. We're going to pass the rack live. We're going to play some bingo live. We're going to do some 30-roll challenges live with David. I'm trying to get El Toro to come. We'll see if we can do that. I'd love to get Dave Carlin from Same Bet out there. Anybody else from Craps Nation, Patty, George, anybody else who's got to fly in, I want to start working on that. Maybe we have Tony Leo again. Maybe we get Rick from Let It Roll out there. Jeff reminds me, of course, Crystal will be there rolling dice with us at the event. She'll be there only Friday, I think. Only Friday. So yeah, Skill, you got to get there. John K is going to be there. That's awesome. I know Dice Dr. Dan, No Don't Pass, is going to be there for 100% sure. Blacklight, I'd love it if you, I'm going to put up a different comment, but I'd love if you were there. I'd love it if you were there. So let's find out who we can get. I'm really going to roll through that list of people and try and get them all. And I don't have a schedule yet. I'm going to try and get who's going to be there what day. We'll get our full schedule up. And it's just going to be a awesome experience. It's going to be an awesome experience. All right, so that is the Crash for the Cure update. I'll give you more info about that. And again, if you need a room or any accommodations, you let me know over email. I got to fix one person. I got the dates wrong, so I'll fix that up. Everybody else, just let me know, and we'll start working with you. Premier will get you all hooked up. Now let's go back one screen here. I want to go back and we're going to go daily paychecking here in a little bit, in about a half an hour. I'm still working the Molly, which is a system, clearly. We are 11-4 so far. The 4 losses have been small. They've been tiny $100 losses, $200 losses. We've made them back for the most part. In 11 days, 11 wins, 4 losses, we're up $1,000. We're about $100 a day thereabouts. Our goal is 150 a day, so we're a little bit below our goal. We'll get there. I'm not super worried about it. As you saw last week in the Windcrap stuff, this thing does well on a good roll. It survives most of the time. It averages, what was it, 18-2, 19-1 most of the time, every 20 sessions. We're a little behind because I've not done great, but I'm not going to change a thing. I like the rhythm. It's got some good fight back in it. I'm definitely loving we're playing the line hard. We're doing the line as either a progression or whatever down there. That's working really well for us. I may do some stacking of wins in the come, as recommended by the actual dice doctor and JR. We may roll some of that in there and let that happen. But yeah, so far so good. 5 more days of this thing. There's lots of things we can do with it that are fun. You know, I keep thinking about, you know, you get a couple of come bets set up there. Maybe laying the back wall is not the worst thing because you got 2 numbers covered, right? You lay the other back wall numbers and you're going to lose $30 coming out. But you may get some extra juice on a 7. That back wall may cover the flats. I mean, there's all sorts of things we can do to have fun with the strategy. So we're going to try and make the Molly not suck so much by doing some fun things with it. And that's coming up. So we have 5 more days of the Molly starting at about half an hour from now. All right, let's get to the meat of the matter. Today I want to talk about, oh, hold on, John K. I haven't heard anything about the room. Drop me a DM, John, in Discord. Make sure I've got all your stuff. I'll check with Michael here after the shows today. I'm talking to the guys at Premiere, so we'll get everything scheduled up. So drop me a private DM or email me, John at ProCraps. Actually, email me is better. John at ProCraps.net. That's the best way. I'll work with you that way. All right, let's get back to basics. Back to basics, and I want to really hit this hard with you this week. I'll spend more time on this in future days here, but I feel like we've been doing so much hardcore, like extra mathematical whatever thinking, right? Sometimes I get too deep in the math, right? And I spend too much time overanalyzing things. I think we all do that to some degree. We're always trying to find the perfect sauce. Sometimes there's no perfect sauce, right? Sometimes the easiest thing is the easiest thing. And I think if we boil this game down to it, and I think one of the things that I learned through watching myself play the Molly, through watching the Molly work last week in Wind Craps, with the Horseman, another good one, right? You don't have to love those strategies, but they work, and they work consistently because they're simple. They don't try and do too much. They aren't trying to predict the future. They aren't putting too much money at risk on things that haven't hit yet. They aren't pressing indiscriminately. They're just simple. And sometimes simple is better. And so I wanted to wind us back to this idea of simple ways to play. So I want you to revisit with me a thing I did. I've done this twice now. This will be our 3rd time doing this. And this goes for everybody. This goes for Blacklight because it doesn't have to be a standard like betting system, right? Think about a 3-unit challenge with me and simplify your game. Let's say you've got 15 units, whatever they are. If they're 15 reds, 15 greens, 15 blacks, okay? I want you to find a way to make me 3. Okay, 15 units, you make 3 units, that's 20%. It sounds really easy to take 15 units and just earn 3. Turn 15 into 18. It's not hard. I say it's easy, right? It's not that easy, right? But if we are looking at my rack upstairs, right? Let's take the daily paycheck as an example. I have $1,500 in the rack. I'm looking to make $150. And we're doing all this stuff. We got 176 across. We got a don't pass bet. We got shit in the field. We're popping the, right? All these things. And it's like, man, I'm just grinding my ass off trying to make $100. It's so hard. What if, like I say, first point here, what if we don't break the units down, right? We've been breaking down the units. I'm going out there $1,500. I'm making 8 quarters out of the first $200 and trying to make, $25 make me $200. I got to win 8 times. Or I got to win 8 units to do it that way, right? It's hard when you break the units down versus just playing the 15 units as the size they are. Consider when you're finding out ways to make 3 units out of 15, not breaking the units down, staying at blacks at $1,500 and just going for it, right? Do you decide to make a strategy like a Wayland thing where you're going to chase the loss a little bit, guarantee yourself that 1 unit win in the end, right? Martingale style like Ken does sometimes. Or build up wins. Take a win, parlay it. Take the parlay it again, and be out in a couple of hits, right? Building up bigger unit wins. Do you want to avoid volatility or seek it out with the thing? So that's what I want you to think about. Find some ways to make 3 units. This is, by the way, how I started, right? And the reason why I'm so passionate about this one in particular is when I first started learning craps way back. I've told you the story before, right? I think we all probably do. We all have that story of 23-year-old John in a casino with $100, you know, and my early days were like, okay, I would look at the table and see who had the most money, who's got money in the rack. And you can see there are people with, you know, $11 in the rack and people with $150. And back then, $150 was a lot of money. Or black chips, God forbid. What are the black chip guys doing that I'm not doing? And you watch them play, you know? And of course, invariably, they're got their cigars in their whiskey, right? And they're smoking their cigars and they're taking their shots and they're betting the don't all day. That's the guys, right? As much as we all, you know, you like to say, hate the don't, guess who's making the money? It's those dudes, right? They're consistently making money. But regardless, one of those guys took me under his wing and taught me how to play. And I've told you the story. I've had a dark side guy teach me the way. I've had a right side guy, and I've had a couple of massive home runs, right? The first two of those were coached. Guy said, put your money where I put my money. And I couldn't afford his levels, but he was telling me what to bet and why. The whole time through, we're just, right? Betting up with this guy. I've made massive money by having guys show me how to press, bet, and do the things, right? I guess the point of it is, between them, the guys who took me under their wing in the early days said to me this: you don't need to make a ton of money, but if you can consistently make a little bit, and they said, break your rack down into groups. That's where I got my rack stuff from. Break it into groups. And if you have 15 groups, if you have 3 groups of 5 chips, right? Can you take that group of 5 chips and make 1 chip out of it? And if you can, and you can do it 3 times, you've made 20% profit, which is a lot of money. And of course they told me how at those days, houses don't earn 20%. The market ain't earning you 20%. Your savings account's making you 6%. That's the best return on investment anywhere on the planet if you can do it. And they said, make 3 groups of 5, make 1 chip out of each group, put the 6 chips at the end of your rack, do it again, put the 6 chips at the end, do it again, and get the hell out of here. Go eat dinner with your wife. That's what they told me. That's the 15 unit challenge. And I give it to you right now. I've given it to you before. Take 15 units, make 3 units out of it. Now you can break it down. You can take, 1,500, take the black chips, make them greens, make them reds if you want to. If you make a black chip into red chips and you're trying to make $300 out of red chips, God help you. You'll be there forever. Unless you're going to hit some hops, you're going to be there nightmarishly long. It's easier to do it if you keep the chips the same size. Now you will burn the whole stack some days. You will burn at least one of those stacks of 5. And they also told me if you burn a stack of 5, you're done for the day. Right? So take a stack of 5, make a stack of 6. Take a stack of 5, make a stack of 6. Take a stack of 5, lose the whole thing, get the hell out of here. You lost $300. At the end of the day, you lost 3 units. You have 12 units out of your 15, go home. If you burn your second stack of 5, go home. You would have made 6, you would have lost 5, you keep 5, you have 1,100 or 11 chips left. Call it a 4-chip loss and go home. That's okay. Money management for the win. Ken is saying it up here too, right? Theory, logic, money management, discipline, and all the things. All those basics are the most important things in this game. They really are. So there it is. I'll put the challenge out to everybody with a channel. Ken, all you guys. Ryan and Mark the Point. Mike from On Point Crafts. Jeff, you've done this before too, right? Take Waylon. I see Buckeye up here. Buckeye says, I am here and you are coming. That's awesome, dude. Give me a 15 unit challenge. Right? Go take 15 units, make 3. Just make 3. That's all I want you to do. All right? Let's go to my table. Let's go out here right now, and I'm going to fail in front of you live. We're going to take 15 units right now. I'm going to make it look like 0. I'm going to try and make it look like 1, but I'm going to make it look like 0 most likely. Let's go to my table. Here we go. I'm going to zoom, go to the big view of the table. Let's get our light turned on, and I'm going to move my rack so you can see it. And we got what? About 15 minutes to go here. How fast can I make or lose the units? Here we go. I'm going to do red units because I don't care. There is 3 stacks of red units. Again, I'm going to play flat bets right now. So we're not going to worry about anything other than the single unit. If we do some odds, which I may, we'll take care of that as we go. But for right now, let's take red units and let's do a how much is 15 red units? What is that, 75 bucks? Can I make 75 bucks look like 90? That's all I'm trying to do. Can I win one, right? Let's go. Let's take these 5 units, and I can do a lot of things with 5 units. I have lots of, if I want to do it sort of bespoke and like let the table decide for me and play come bet style play, we can do a short come ladder, right? A 1 unit come. Maybe it's a 1 unit pass line bet. We'll do a come ladder this way. Watch how I do this. We're going to go and get the dice. Where's my dice? Let's grab a red or a green and a blue, and let's come out to a 6, okay? Again, simple, simple, simple. Looking to win 1 unit here if I can do it. All I got to do is win 1. If I would have won on that come out line, I'm done, man. I'm freaking out of here. Here we go. Point is 6. I'm going to put 2 units in the come. A simple come ladder. Very simple come ladder. Just going to try and get a 7 right here if I can. We get a 9. 6, 3, 9. Now, I've got 3 units out there. I got 2 units left in my rack that I can do things with. I can save those 2 units, or I can take a shot with odds on the 6 to win an extra unit, right? But right now, if either one of these bets wins, I'm going to be in decent shape. I just got to avoid big nasty right now. So the come ladder at this point is going to be done for me. I'm going to come here into the DC and get 1 bet on the 7 going. We catch a 10, 6, 4, 10, and there we go. I've used my 5 units. I'm going to take, to the best of my luck here, maybe the 5 turns into 1 somehow. Quick little easy system. There's a 4, 2, 6. It gets paid. Look at that perfect shot, right? It gets paid, right? I can leave this out here, put the 1 in my rack. There's 1 unit. I could take these down. I could take that down and leave just 2 out here if I wanted to. I'd have 4 units in my rack, right? We're not going to do it. I'll leave my stuff here. Let's cut this to come out 7. Ah, we got a 10 and picked ourselves off. What a bummer. What a bummer. So we lose that. Now we have these 2 here. We can't win 1 unit now. The best we can probably do is tie. 6, 4, 10. Pays down there. We'll stack that up. Puck is off. 1, 2, 3. Boy, this is not going good, right? We lose this. What I was going to do is stack that up down there, but with only 5, it's kind of hard to do it. There's another 6. Let's do it. How about a 9? Where's my freaking 9? 5. Aces. 8. Look at this shooter doing all the work. All the work with none of the love. Another 8. We take this unit here and put it in the don't, maybe? I don't know. 3. Probably should have. 5. Wow. How about the one I'm on? What do you think there, dice? Give me the one I'm on. There it is. There's a 9. That's fantastic. That pays 2 units. All right. So now look at our rack. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units in the rack and 1 unit out here on the pass line. All we got to do is hit a 6 and we're good, right? That's how you hopefully turn 1 unit or 5 units into 6 units. If we get lucky like that, which we even lost on a 10 here, we're okay. I can let that bet ride, right? Or reset the process. Let's reset it. We're gonna come at it from a position of relative strength. There's the 7. Okay, so what happens? We lose our our pass line. We get paid 2. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. What do I do here? There's the 6 that I was looking for. I'll take this next set of 5. Now I've won 2 units out of my 5, out of my 3 goal, right? I can skip a whole session there. Somebody asked last night, what's a session? The definition was a session is when you buy in and when, oh, sorry, this is my rack. When you buy in and when you color up, that's your session, right? I can look at this as 3 play sessions within a session, like sub-sessions. I think John Patrick called this a series. So the series that I'm in, I won 2 units in one of my series. So that covers me for 2. I've got 6 units twice now, right? I'll take this 3rd set of 5 and I'll start the same process again. We'll just do a simple little 1 unit play on the pass line. Can I make that? At worst, I'm going to lose 5 units here, right? There's a hard 10. Let's take a 2 unit come. and we'll do a 2-unit DC. Oh, damn it. We're gonna burn the cum. That's a huge bummer. All right, we're gonna have to stay in there though because we didn't get one of them set. We'll take an 8. We still have a chance. We still have a chance. Right? We still have a chance. Nope. We burned it. So the rules of the game were if you lose a 5-unit slug, you're done for the day. What ends up happening for us here, we lose 3 units. I got 6 and 6 is 12. I start with 15. We lose 3 units, right? This time it fails. This time it fails. Good lesson, right? Just a horrible, horrible swing of dice right there. There's 15 units again. We can try it another time, right? What do you want to do this time? We can do whatever you want to here. Again, looking to win 1 unit per. What if this time we bypass the come out roll? We'll go to the 8, okay? I'll take my 25, right? We'll go inside. 22 inside. And again, you can pretend you're at a bubble crash machine for this one here, okay? What do I need to win a unit on this one here? I'm putting it all out in one shot, right? My entire bankroll basically is out here. My entire slug is out. PSO kills me here, right? But any inside hit, like the 6 that pays $7, I'm done. Right, there's my 5. I take these. There's 6. And there's an extra couple of bucks for later, right? Slug 1 did its job. We're gonna let it go, right? We could stay on the 8. We could go back out. We could let the shooter finish, right? Lady's choice here. What do you want to do? There's a 9. Let's let the shooter finish up. Again, I've seen this exact strategy play out. Take your win, get out of dodge. Take your win, get out of dodge. There's a 10. We're going to be here forever. And I'm going to be on a 60 roller waiting for the next shooter. And the next shooter, you can guarantee, is going to PSO another 8. But we would have made our 3 units here 5 times, right? Oh, I'm sorry. The 8 hit. That was the point. The point now is 5. I think the point's 5 now. With a new point, let's do it. Let's go back out. Sorry, my bad. We hit the 8. I did set a new point. I think I'm right. It doesn't matter, ultimately. Let's just avoid the 7. There's the 5. All right, so we got it again. I'll just turn them off. How about that? We'll just turn these things off. 5 pays $7. All right. So there we have 2. Actually, I'm not going to turn them off. I'm going to do this. We're going to do this. Take them back. There is our 6 units twice. We have $4 over here, which is almost another full unit. Those extra whites actually mattered a little bit. The point's going to stay 5. Let's let them make the point or 7 out, and then we'll go back out with our 3rd slug. 1 hit and down, right? It's a 1 hit and down type of deal. There's your 7. Let's catch a point. 7 on the come out. 10. Good. I love me a point of 10. You know that, right? Here we go. Can we avoid disaster? 1, 2, 3, 4 inside. Right? I might even grab the 4 with my 5th unit just to make sure I got 1 extra number covered here. Let's go. Anything but 7. There's a 9. There's a 9. Pay $7 and I'm out. Right? We took 3 shots at it. And today, there is 6 units. I made 1, 2, 3 units was my goal. I actually made 4. If I take these whites and make them a red, I made 4 units today. The 3 hits were $7. I got 6 extra bucks. That's fantastic. A little bit of excess. If these are black chips, right? If I'm playing the black chip level in here, right? That's another $100 in excess. That's your 140, 140, 140, 140. That's $100 sitting there, $120, right? Not bad if you think simple. Turn 15 into 18. That's 20%. And again, I'm using red chips because they were already in my rack. They could have been quarters. It wouldn't matter. If it was a quarters, what did I make today? What are 3 quarters? 4 quarters. That's $100, right? 4 quarters. That's out of 5 units of 4 quarters. That's what is that? 1, 2, $375. made $100 out of that. That's simple, easy way to do it. Is that a strategy or a system? I don't know. Probably a system. Doesn't ultimately matter, definitions wise. But that's a way to turn, again, 15 units into 18 units. And if you're a good shooter, right? Guys say they have an advantage because of how they shoot. If you have an advantage because of how you shoot, that should be easy money for you, right? And the goal doesn't always have to be light the world on fire. The goal can simply be turn 5 units into 6 units. Can you turn 5 into 6? One hitting down 3 times in a row, you can be going home every day if you can pull that move off every single day. If you want to be a little more aggressive and do like a skill 66, you're going to take two units, you're going to take 2 hits to make it happen. A little more risky than 1, but you're going to take it with 2. Then go for it, right? That's gonna earn you an extra couple of units when you do that. Not bad, right? So think about it. Think about all the ways you can do this. How many ways can you turn 5 into 6? Let's do a little don't. Let's do a little don't progression because we can. Puck is off. Here's 15 units. Let's do it simply from the don't pass. That's all we're gonna do is play the don't pass. We're gonna don't pass. We're gonna progress a win. And that's it. There's a 6-5 EO. Do you want to ladder the loss? Again, you've only got 5 units to play with here. Laddering the loss doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We can do it to show, but you're going to be out of cash. You can only ladder once if you're playing with 5 units per. Playing against the 6 now. Just need a win. There's the 7. Guess what? Don't pass player. There's 2, 4, 6. That's 1 series win. Let's do it again. Right back out. There's a 7 on the freaking come out. Are you kidding me? 7 disappeared earlier. Now we're going to get nothing but 7. All right, ladder it up. We'll ladder up 1 time and we'll stay at 2. There's a 9. 6, 3, 9. No odds. No odds, no nothing. We're just going to sit here and play for you know who. There's the 7 again. So, hey, we lost 1. We won 1. But again, 2 units there, 2 units in the win, 2 units in the rack. There's 6. Bye. That's another series win. Here we go again. Now, you could look at this and go, we just won 2 in a row, right? I could press it up. I would only press it up if I'm going to use the win that I got. I would press it up. Right? We're not in a position to use the win that we got to press it up. So I'm starting a new series with new bankroll. I'm not pressing the previous win, although I would love to press the previous win. There's a 6, 4, 10 up in here. On Thursday, I got a fun strategy for you that's going to involve the 4, 10, and 7. Here we go. Let it sit. If you really love the 10, if you really love that 10 and you want to try for it, you can do this right here. But again, your goal is 1 unit, not 2 units. So again, if you're playing goal-oriented, your goal is to win a single unit. You can leave that flat and be happy with it. If your goal is to win a little extra, you can certainly do that and bridge this thing up, but you're taking a bigger risk. Okay, I'm going to not bridge it. We're going to play the flat. I'm going to play it nice and basic and simple and just try and beat the 10. That's all we have to do is beat the 10 here. There's a 4. 3 and a 1. I'm not sure if you guys can see where the dice are landing. I hope you can. There's the 7. All right, there it is. So that time, simple don't pass. We caught a good little run. And guess what? We turned 15 into 18. That's 20% win. And again, if those are hundreds, that's $300 in profit. Just like that. If they're greens, $75 in profit, just like that. Okay? Simplify your life is what I'm trying to get to here. Playing simple. Having a simple set of, again, 5 units at a time. 5 unit slugs, we call them. Get a slug of 5, turn 5 into 6, do it 3 times, and I dare you to walk home. I dare you to call that good. Do that in Crapsy. Do that in Crapsy when Jeff's playing later on, or when whoever's playing later on, do this exact thing, right? When I start my Crapsy shows up, which I will start pretty soon on Pro Craps, we're gonna do exactly this. I'm gonna give you $1,500. And it's the first person to win 1,800 wins. We're gonna work on this kind of stuff because I think this right here, this not pressing to table max is the way that we win in this game. Now, can you come from here and still press table max? Sure. Does table max get you the big fat wins and the chip porn? Sure. This lets you keep on playing though, right? If you want to look at it like that, you can say, well, I've earned 300 bucks in those three. In that 3 series, I've earned 300, and I can slide this back and it's going home with me no matter what. And I can take the 300 or the 75 or the whatever and say, now we're going to try something different, to Leon's point, stringing strategies together and turning this into something way bigger, or maybe turning that into something way bigger and locking this one up. You got all sorts of options once you have done this. This right here is a great way to set yourself up to either A, go home, or B, keep going with profit. So your choice, your call, do it your way. That's my challenge to you. I'm gonna go back to the other screen here. That is my, oh God, the light. Look at the light. Hold off, man. That is my challenge to you all. Turn 15 into 18. Earn 20%. Take a slug of 5, make 6. Take a slug of 5, make 6. Take a slug of 5 and lose it and go the hell home. Right? Call it that's a bad session and you're done. Do the work. Put the work in. Simplify your lives. Right? If you want to just go across and play what's hitting, fine. But I challenge you to be disciplined like this. I just like that, right? Yeah, there's no way to do it just like that. Some days it's just like that. Some days that same dark side play gets destroyed, as you've seen me do, right? Today we got lucky. And again, if you're gonna get lucky, don't look at gift horse in the mouth, get the hell out of there. Don't look at gift horse in the mouth, get the hell out of there. All right, what is next on us? I'm gonna check out questions for you. Do you have any more questions? Yes, black light makes the best point in the world right here. Going for 20% wins is great. However, you do need the big wins now and then, right? You're gonna have to hit some home runs. And like I said, my lifelong craps play, I'm ahead because I've hit some massive home runs, right? Those massive home runs have covered all the little losses that I've had over the years, right? That's the ebb and flow of this game. You look at the daily paycheck, we're up 4,000 overall, but the strategy play, one is up 1,000, one's up 800, one of them is down 2,000. Straight up 10% strategy play is actually a net negative. I think it's net even now. The home runs are the reason why that thing is doing good. You got to use your excess monies to make the big ones. All right, so there you go. Let's see, what else do we have here? Looking for PCs. Anything else y'all want to talk to me about? Let's see. The DP does not need a protective lay bet. I don't believe so. I know Ken is a huge believer that does. You do it too, Skill. Again, I look at things law of big numbers, right? I'm not so much. I know that a lot of people disagree with me on this. I don't look at it session based. I probably should do more of that, right? But over the years, I realized that yeah, I lost today, I lost tomorrow, I lost Saturday, I hammered them on Tuesday. I'm law of big numbers. Over the course of that time, that strategy won more money than it lost. In a given session, you can get pounded on some of these things. So yeah, in a given session, I understand. Let's lay the 4 and 10 so I don't get destroyed right now. I get it. Typically speaking, I don't do that. So let's see. Ken is saying, slit your wrist, easy strats are the most consistent. Yeah, I hear you. The horseman, the lay 4 and 10, those things are like, they're just, I don't know, they work. Again, if you're going for a small win goal, those things work. They work. So there it is, guys. Yeah, Ken says you only have the here and now. I get it. Like, and you're right. In the here and now, I'll give you a good example. If my bankroll's down to $100 and I'm putting a $25 don't pass out there, I'm probably laying the 4. I'll be honest with you. I'm not looking to lose that bet, right? The more down I get, the more things I'll do to make sure I'm protective. When I have a bigger bankroll, I don't worry about it so much. I want the law of big numbers at that 100 roll session to take over for me. I think the naked betting is better in every circumstance over the course of many, many, many rolls. In the course of short rolls, sometimes going naked will really get you bit in the ass, just the way it is. So I'm fully aware that the moment is the moment, and it's different than the law of big numbers. I know you and Blacklight will both pound me on that. You're both right. in there. I cannot get you can't turn your brain off on some things. Like I know we talked about this a lot. I can't turn my brain off when I know what's going to happen over the course of 1,000 rolls. I've got to learn. I said this last night. You learn over the course of time doing these channels and analyzing stuff, how that changes you, right? Looking at craps as one enormous lifelong session versus a tiny session here. So anyway, it's all good, guys. I love y'all. I'm out of here. I gotta go. I gotta go do some garage rolling for the daily paycheck. So my final thoughts are this: not going to agree all the time, right? We're not going to agree on trending. I know that. We're not going to agree on strategy versus whatever. We're not going to agree on a lot of things, and ultimately we don't have to, right? My job is to inform you of the things. The truth is, there's no such thing as trends in a random game. If you choose to say, I don't care, I'm gonna see the patterns that I see and bet them, good. I'm happy for you, right? I've informed you of the truth. You can ignore that and do what you want to do anyway. It doesn't ultimately matter, right? I can inform you that goals are the way to make money. Hit your goal and get out. Hit your goal, use excess to play. If you choose to ignore that and just, rail dump all the time, fine, that's your choice, right? I'm not here to tell you, you have to play this way. You got to do that. You can never do. I'm never going to be dogmatic about it. I'm going to give you all the information I can give you, and you're adults and you're smart people. Do what you're going to do. That's my final thought. Do it. Take my information, take Ken's information, take Jeff's information, take Jeremy's information, take Ryan's information, and do with it what you want to, right? Bring it all together, make your own crap soup out of it, and do your thing. Love it. I love it. I love it, right? Get out of here. I'll be up there for paycheck in about 10. I'm going to make some new coffee and go play with the dogs for a minute. I'll see you out there. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Y'all have a good one. Bye.